Yo everyone, welcome back to the RobeTheMatoran channel. And today we are camera mess up. Today we are looking at the Piraka. Finally, I know last time I said I was gonna do the gold good guy quotations, totally con, but I kind of said, yeah, no one's gonna really be interested in that, so I rather just talk about the Piraka instead, because I feel like people would rather see that instead. So he'll show up later. But anyway, so we have the Piraka here, all 6 of them. So I'm going to start in a random order. I'm just going to do the set numbers, piece count, and everything, and get into the review. So starting off, 8900 Radak with approximate piece count is 41, and then we have 8901 Hakan with approximate piece count of 42, 8902 Vezok with the piece count of 41, 8903 Zaktan with a piece count of 41, 8904 Avak with a piece count of 41, and 8905 Thok with a piece count of 42. And the retail price of these sets were $9 or $8.99, but $9 basically. So with that in mind, these sets were I guess these were the main bad guys, obviously, of 2006. And the quick brief summary of the story goes as well. Just a brief story, yeah. So the Piraka, they defected from the Dark Hunters group because they were all part of the Dark Hunters, but they decided to go and leave. 6 of the Skakti, as they're called, they left the Dark Hunters group because they didn't want to be a part of it no more. They called themselves the Piraka, and they were set on a mission to go find the Mask of Light. Life. Not light, but life. I gotta say that, actually. And they managed to get to Voyanui, and they tricked the Matoran into thinking that they were Toa, which you could, in a weird way, you can almost kind of see that. But so they tricked the Matoran and started taking over the island and making them serve them and build all this crazy stuff and hunt for the Mask of Life, help them find it. So that's what they did. And Toa Nuva actually came there to stop them, but they kind of got their butts handed to them. So yeah, it was kind of bad a little bit, but they obviously managed to escape and they didn't die. But yeah, but okay, yeah, that's basically the brief story. And then yeah, so there you go with the Piraka on that. All right, now this wave right here, these Piraka sets introduce a lot of new stuff, a lot. Starting off with the pros, of course, with all the interesting stuff, got new molds and new colors, actually. So for some of them with their legs, some of them have new colors, and of course they have new molds because the Piraka feet, the claws, the legs, one of the arms, I think. So it's a lot of new pieces, obviously, and then with the rubber spines and stuff, with these little spines here, they are new and exciting and supposed to look really cool and supposed to be innovative, and they are. And they're a pro and a con. So pros are they're new and unique, and it makes them all look different with their all different grins or snarling looks. So that's really cool. That's really nice. And we are introduced to the Zamor launchers, which for the Piraka, they have their Zamor launchers are full of antidermis. They was pumping these out and blasting the Matoran with them and forcing the Matoran to serve them. And I'll show you an example of how they blast them. You just take your 2 fingers here and just at the back, and and they'll fly. They'll launch. So that's really cool, actually. Really do like that. I think the Zamors are really one of the coolest things a part of this wave, because I just like them in the various colors you can get them in, but mostly all of them are green. Well, the Piraka, they're green, but the Bionicle, they actually get other colors. But anyway, really like that. So with that, Another pro is that their eyes can light up, and for most of them, they don't work. I think the one that works is for Radak here, actually. You can kind of see that. Let me just move some of them out the way because you can't really see that. So you can see that a little bit, right? Eyes light up. That's pretty cool. And their teeth can actually glow in the dark. I don't know how well I can show it, but just quick off the lights. Yeah, you can't really see that. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I show you the teeth do glow in the dark, but it's hard to kind of get the shot in because, you know, I have to be really close, and I'm recording this in daytime, so it's kind of hard to see it with, you know, the daylight, but maybe, I don't know. I'm hopefully I have 2 more chances to actually show that off, you know, later on, but right now I can't do that too well. But regardless, the teeth glow in the dark, the eyes light up, most of them. Well, not even most of them, just really one of them. Like Thok and Vezok kind of can, but anyway, yeah. So when they light up, it's really cool. Okay, and also with the Piraka, they have a dual function. Well, I guess a dual wielding weapon with, you know, Radak. I'll just have him as my primary one to use. You know, he has a saw blade right here, and you can flip that over with his arm, well, hand, and it's a drill. And all of them can do that. All of them have that. Hawkeye has a laser gun, and he can flip that over, and it becomes like a pincer, a hook kind of thing, whatever. Zocton has a scissor blades, and also a claw pincer thing. And that's really cool, unique. I think Thok's has to be my favorite one, and the Zamor is following. That is going to get into the cons, but that's not right here. Thok, you can trim his over is like a blade or blade hook kind of thing, and then flip it over, and he has now like not a laser, but like an ice like ray gun, because you know the little blue tube at the bottom. It's actually, oh dear, you can blast it off. Well, I mean, you can't, you just have to, you know, of course, you know, pretend, but yeah, he has like an ice ray gun. Vezok has a harpoon and a like little saw. That's pretty neat. Avak over here has like a, I don't know, like a jackhammer kind of thing. And you can turn into like this like really jagged like blade thing here. So you can do all that with them. So that's really nice. Okay, another thing. They have multiple levels of articulation. So you can just grab whatever Piraka you have and provided they don't fall over, because they are really not unstable, but they're just, it's a little awkward, but okay, grab Piraka. They have all kinds of joints. They have feet, knees, I won't say hips, but not quite. Just they have articulation in the legs. Arms, they can bend their arms almost 360, going like a 180. So you can do that. Bend this arm, this hand, and they have neck articulation. They can look left and right, not really well up or really well down. But that'll be more to discuss in the cons. But for right now, pros, of course. And that's pretty good. Pretty good. They have forgone any gear function. There is not an ounce of a gear in these designs that are functions. So they're not gear centric. They don't have a special gear. Their articulation is the gear. That is the function with them. They're more like your action figures. Now, there's a question I wanted to answer. Someone had asked a while ago, but I think I'm going to say that for the Bionicle review. So I'll wait till I'll say my thoughts for that, but I will answer a certain question that was kind of been sitting on for a while, but I'm going to answer that then. But for right now, and these are the now almost standard Piraka build. This is the infamous Piraka build has come from, because that's why they call Piraka builds, because they're from the Piraka. And we'll be seeing a multitude of sets with this very similar build in the upcoming reviews and in the future of Bionicle. For the rest of Bionicle, you'll be seeing multiple sets with the same Piraka build. And it's not a con now, but it will be later on. So right now, this introduced it. It's not bad. Okay. I think I went over everything that I could go over with the pros. Yeah, I think I did. So now let's get into the rough patch. Let's start talking about the cons. And the cons are that I'm going to get the big elephant out the room. The Zamors. The Zamors are ridiculous. Now, the Nika almost fixed the problem, but then they introduced another one. But that'll be for then. But for the Piraka, their problem is you play with these, you just play around and you can just whoop, they fall. And heck, I was showing that example already early on. So you get the idea of what they do. They're not very good with stability on that because they will fall. Like, it is really hard to pose them with these Zamors because they don't have nothing to hold it in place. It's just out and free, and they will fall out an insane amount of times, and you will lose them. Because I have lost them several times before I even did this review. I've almost lost them. I managed to find them, but just if you get these, obviously keep a good eye on them. Don't be messing around with them because they will fall, and that's why I don't shoot them out anywhere because obviously I don't. But yeah, don't do that. So they're kind of rough on that. Another con would be that their necks do not articulate and their arms are not completely, omnidirectional. You cannot move a 360-degree angle with the spines on because, well, the spines inhibit that because you can't make his arms go back. It keeps going sideways, and it just does that. It's really bad, and you cannot move the head up or down. So that is fun right there, because you can't do anything with that. And also, while talking about the spines, another con is that they bend really badly. You could, I don't even like having Thought's arm in that position actually at all over here because I don't like to move them too much because the spines will bend and they will look terrible. You cannot flex them out. They are not, they're like some weird kind of rubber. They are impossible to flex out. Once they're kind of fixing that angle, you might as well say that's how they're going to be now. So it does kind of ruin their look after, time has passed because they do not look very well once they start bending out of place. But, if you get them brand new, then they look great. But, it's kind of hard to find them brand new, or at least you're going to be paying a fortune to get them brand new. But, yeah. Also, with the spines, when they collect dust, it's kind of hard to wash them because even when you wash them, the spines they kind of get this kind of faded kind of look, and they look almost more dustier than before. So it's kind of hard to wash them to make them look good. So they're a little awkward. I won't lie. They're a little awkward with the spines on that. So it's hard to wash them. And speaking of washing, or speaking of stuff that you can't have water touching, is their eyes. So I have no knowledge that you can change the eye brain pieces with a new battery. I think you can actually. I just don't know what kind of batteries they take. It's some special battery, but I think you can change them out and replace them, but I don't know. If anyone in the comments knows, I would love to know, because I actually want to replace the batteries and have them light up. So, if you know it, hey, I would appreciate that. So, I would love that. Okay, so you can't change the batteries, and obviously you cannot wash that, because if you wash it, then they're not going to work regardless. So that's fun. So that's the thing with that. And also another thing, their eyes. Their eyes are the exact same color. Now, I know they all light up, but it still doesn't make it seem like they all have the same eye color, which is supposed to be just orangish red. I think it would have been cool if they had different eye colors, but I guess, I think it'd be cool if they had different eye colors and they have like different color like beams coming out their eyes, because I all have like heat vision, laser beams, whatever. But I think it would have been cool if they had different colors and have like different abilities with their eyes and stuff. I think that would have been really awesome if they did that, but they didn't. So they all have laser heat vision, whatever, and they're all the same color. So I'm not gonna get anything diverse with that. This is also another problem with the Anika, but again, that's for that video. But yeah, so that's the problem with that. Yeah, they're clone sets. They are, you know, clone sets as they can get. They are identical in build, except for Avak here. That's kind of why I brought him out in the front, because he's the only one that has his arm, you know, reversed, because his weapon does not go the other way. It's ironic that the brown Bionicle has something inverted or flipped, because, you know, they're just unique. It's just very ironic. I don't think that was on purpose, but it's very ironic. I'll say that. It's very ironic. It's on the nose with that one. Another, I won't say a con, this is just more of an interesting fact, is that this Avak here is, I believe, is the last brown related, the last Bionicle, the last brown official Bionicle set that has the Hershey Brown involved. I think he is the last one from now until the very end of, you know, Gen 1 of Bionicle. He is the last brown, like brown Bionicle that they released. Kind of weird. I'm really trying to think. I mean, if anyone knows in the comments also about that, I mean, I really want to say that he is the last official set release with, you know, with the Hershey Brown color going on. So, because they all replace it with orange and like gunmetal, and it's like so weird. But yeah, I think he's the last brown Bionicle that they released, and because no one really liked the brown one, you know, it's kind of like, of course they did, but it's a weird thing. I think that kind of covers it. Oh, I mean, I guess another thing is they have 3 different types. Well, I say 3, but they have 2 different types of feet. That Thok, Avak, and Zacton have the flat foots, which personally I like better because these have more stability. So that keeps them kind of unique. And then with Vezok, Radak, and Hakan, they have the clawed feet, which, you know, they're not the worst with stability, but I personally prefer the flat foots because it just looks better. But yeah, so that keeps them kind of unique, but they're basically the same set. You have one and you basically kind of have them all, but they are unique enough for it. They can feel kind of different, but if you ignore the colors and the spines, they are the same set. And the weapons, their little dual action weapon, you know, they're basically the same set because, you know, they are. So, I mean, they're pretty good. So the score I will give them, and I'm not going to be biased about it because I actually like the Piraka, but still, honestly, I would still give it a pretty high score. Like, honestly, I'll give them like a 7-9 because I think that they're really good. I don't think they're like in the 8 and 9 ranges because they're just, I don't think they're that good, but they're pretty good. I would recommend getting them. All of them, I don't know, maybe a couple of them. I say get maybe like 3 of them, like where the 3 of your favorites, and then that's kind of it, because I don't think you should get all of them, because unless you really just, of course, the same thing I always said, if you really want to get the whole Bionicle collection, then go ahead. But outside of that, I would not recommend getting all of them, because they are kind of like the same set. You start getting, you get more than like really like 2 of them, they're like, wow, this is really starting to be like the same thing, because you'll build it and be like, it's kind of the same thing. So yeah, I can't say what I recommend get them used. I would say at your own discretion with that, because you can get them used for a decent price, but they will be mangled sometimes, because sometimes these sellers will give it to you mangled and they'll be messed up. The spines will be really bad, but sometimes you might get a good one, so just look out. So I'll still say get them used. I don't want to say get them brand new, but yeah, those have been my thoughts. What are yours down in the comments, because I will read every single comment. I would appreciate it. So with that, join me next time when I look at the technicality, the one and only, well, actually, no, more like there's 3 different iterations of them, but But we're going to talk about only one because he's actually released in a set. And you all know him as Ernak, the very weird combo set. But it is an official set, but it's a combo. But whatever. We'll talk about that next time. And with that, I have been RobeTheMatoran, and I will catch you all on the flip side.
Piraka! Be warned, the gang is on the loose. You can make their eyes splash and their teeth glow in the dark. Each Piraka has a spiked armor spine and an awesome dual-action weapon. You can also fire their powerful Zammer Spear Launcher and get into action. The Tricker, Tracer, Drifter, the Snake, the Beast, the Bully, all that makes Piraka. Piraka from Bionicle. Each set sold separately.